It's ready.
I'm just looking at the stuff. Hello, everybody. How are you? Good evening. Happy every day to you. It's more than just a holiday or Christmas or New Year's. Every day, we need to keep our energies up and be happy with one another and our surroundings. Okay, so my name is DeAndrea, and this is my son. Sarah. This is his podcast. I'm his helper. Okay, and what we do is we are a podcast for the autistic community. Okay, that entails everything, and what we speak about is everything to guide the parent, guide the autistic uh, children and young adults. We are a guide to um, sort of just keep your energies up and keep you happy, you know. So we speak about different things. My main thing is inclusiveness for the autistic community. In other words, getting together and uplifting one another and having our kids to be around their own kind, okay? Because they won't feel down or so different about themselves being in a neurotypical setting as far as school is concerned. So it is important that we concentrate on that. It is important that we uh, um, of what we're doing, and which is providing facilities for that, inclusiveness for the children, um, teaching the children, and socializing, being around one another is very important. Okay, so today we are speaking about autism and speech. Okay, it is an important topic that more people are learning about these days. For those unfamiliar, autism refers to a spectrum of neurological disorders that can impact social skills, communication, interests, and behaviors. Okay, so this series, for instance, my son has a speech problem. He has speech difficulty and something called select mutism. Okay, so we're going to get off into this. This series, take it away.
Uh, Autism and speech is an important topic that
Where are you?
we're on top.
I just read that.
uh, One key area autism can affect is language and speech development. While some individuals on the autistic spectrum very well, others have difficulties with verbal communication. There are a few reasons why. Social aspects of speech. Autism involves
See how you put
challenging
that together? Putting in social aspects of speech.
social.
Autism involves. See, you read it like social aspects of speech. Autism involves. You don't. You got
Uh,
to.
uh,
Okay.
the social aspects of speech. Autism involves challenges with social interaction, which is a driving factor in typical speech development. Being less attuned socially can delay skills like using speech to share information or maintain conversations.
Okay. So social aspects of speech. Um, okay. So they're speaking about the challenges with interactions, I guess, with the neurotypical world. Okay. So, but if you get a group in a room of autistic individuals, they can they understand one another's challenges. Okay, when it comes to speech, I've noticed by looking at different films that they actually wait for each other to finish their speech. Okay, they don't have to worry about someone looking at them because the speech is not going out as clear as a neurotypicals would. Okay, but it is also good to understand that uh, autistic adults, or young adults and children have different gifts. Okay, um, these gifts overstate the act of being social. Okay, and they can be social with one another. Like I said again, they don't have to, in an inclusive environment, this is where they learn. This is where they're going to gain their strength. You are putting your child who is autistic in a neurotypical setting. It's for neurotypical children, okay? And that I disagree with that so much. It's not right at all. Okay, because the interaction with the neurotypical in a classroom, um, they may tease them or just anything like that. Okay, so I just need for them to be strong. Okay, and I know that that is difficult being in a neurotypical setting. Okay, go ahead, Sarah.
Sensory processing. Sounds themselves can be overwhelming for those with sensitive hearing. This can inhibit comfort using vocal- vocalizations, limited echo speech, repeating words as infants affect foundations of a talk.
Go ahead.
Repetitive behaviors. For some, there is a desire for sameness that manifests verbally through, through echolalia, repeating heard, heard phrases, lack of a variation in speech, or becoming nonverbal during periods of distress.
Yeah, yeah, that's we have a lot of kids that are nonverbal in some phase of their lives, like just different stages in their lives, and they are nonverbal. Okay, so the repetitive behaviors, the sameness, uh, uh, it manifests verbally through echolalia, um, repeating her phrases. It's very, very difficult for them. Okay, go ahead, Sarah. Which causes periods of distress. Go ahead, Sarah.
Brain differences, functional MRI studies show
Okay, say brain differences, and
brain
then
differences.
yeah,
Fundamental MRI
functional.
studies, functional MRI studies show autistic brains process and integrate sound sound differently, which may impact speech areas. Genetics also,
It's a period right there.
which may impact speech. areas. Genetics also play a role in certain syndromic forms of autism.
Okay, okay. Yeah, y'all, I just corrected the series on passing up maybe a comma away to the pause. Okay, but we are talking about speech. All right, so that's one of the things that I find in autistic kids, that the comma or period or something like that is ignored. Okay, they're trying to somewhere in their brain hash out the words. Okay, in sentences, so they don't really recognize. If you're saying words that are like 4 and 5 different syllables, he's not paying attention to the commas and the periods. you know. So yeah, go ahead, Sarah.
The good news is with intensive early intervention, speech therapies like EB and inclusion of alternative communication aids, many children on the spectrum see large improvements in their ability to speak. Functional communication is a priority outcome targeted by educational teams and caregivers.
Okay. Wow. I don't know who. Okay. I disagree with this. Okay. Again, we keep putting our children in uh, a neurotypical setting, and it's just not right. It's not right. Why do we not have inclusive schools right now for autism? Why are we not concentrating on these kids? And I don't mean just autistic kids. I mean, you have ADHD kids, you have just different kids along the line, and they're not getting the care that they need because they're being put in the setting. It's almost like you're just throwing a child somewhere, because you don't have any other place to put him. When Jaceres was growing up, I could not find a school that was specifically for autism unless it was across town in um, an environment for the not middle class, for the upper class. There were schools out there for them, but as far as our kids out here that were in the middle class or lower class, there are no schools out here for them, none whatsoever, and that's not right. So again, my whole thing is inclusive for these kids, so that they can grow into their gifts. Okay, go ahead, Sarah.
The
The good news.
Yes, the good news is with intensive early intervention, speech therapists like ABA and inclusion of alternative communication aids, many children on the spectrum see large improvements in their ability to speak. Fundamental communication,
Functional.
functional communication is a priority outcome targeted by educational teams and caregivers?
I don't know where these teams are supposed to be. I just think that some kids are just put in bunches uh, here and there, you know, and they looked at them, took data, on them, and just wrote up a script and said, okay, here you go. Yeah, that they understood autistic kids, and that's got to be the biggest lie. There's no way you can understand an autistic kid. None. They change so frequently, and anyone should be able to tell you that they need an inclusive environment. An inclusive environment. Okay, go ahead, Sarah.
Does this, okay, here are some additional insights on autism and speech. Pragmatic language skills refer to understanding how to use language appropriately in social contexts. This is often more impaired than core grammar slash vocabulary abilities for those with autism. Therapy targets social communication functions.
Okay, so when the Sarah was growing up, the first thing I taught him were to break the words down. So he's able to do that. But I also tried to teach him about the commas and the periods and the pauses. And, a lot of things that they master, and some things they don't. Okay. And just, I was speaking with the Sarahs the other day, and, we came to the conclusion, why are you all trying to change them? It's nothing. Okay, my thing is stuck with Sarah's. Look, why is it so important that it just popped up that you all are trying to change them? They don't need to be changed. Okay, they do not need to be changed. Okay, thank you. Yeah, they don't need to be changed. It's absolutely nothing wrong, but it's nothing wrong with bettering the speech or anything like that. But to say that the schools out here, uh, uh, um, that the schools are providing an environment that would be right for neurotypical and autistic kids. You all know that being in an environment together is not real right now. It's not good right now because these kids are still learning who they are. The only thing that they're learning, if you throw them in a neurotypical environment, is that, oh, it may be something wrong with them. It's something wrong with them. So, no, that's the only thing that is addressing, is that these kids are not like the neurotypical kids, and these kids are wondering, or deciding that something's got to be wrong with them. Okay, a lot of these kids are committing suicide. No one's talking about it. Okay, come on, Sarah, go ahead.
It says co-occurring conditions like sensory processing disorder or anxiety can can exacerbate speaking challenges by distracting from focus or language or amplifying discomfort with sound slash voices treatment addressing whole treatment addressing whole person.
Where are you? Oh, okay. Treatment addresses whole person. Okay. Co-occurring conditions like sensory processing can, yeah,
I agree with
you
this.
do.
This
Okay. So I'm going to read a little bit. Okay. Trauma related to past negative experiences with speaking can condition someone toward silence later on. Trauma related to, okay. Building trust and using reinforcement optimistically supports re-engagement. I agree with that. And um, I believe in inclusiveness until they reach a certain age, or maybe you can introduce the neurotypical to the autistic community and see if they like it, and they just might like it because these would be kids that are not going to tease them or look at them in any type of way. If anything, they would probably have open arms to these neurotypical kids. But to throw an autistic child in a predominantly neurotypical um, environment is not good. Okay, let's see. The goal is comprehension and being understood, however works best. Females with autism often exhibit better camouflaging of social issues, possibly delaying diagnosis and support, but underlying differences impacting communication remains. Okay, again, okay, data. That's what this is data. Data just is letting you know that this is not working. These kids need to be in an inclusive environment. Brains are adaptable. Even those who do not verbally speak much as children show increased neural connectivity in language areas with consistent alternative communication access. Family involvement and consistency of approach across environments, school, home therapies significantly aids progression than autism impacts speaking abilities. Okay, so again, anytime you throw an autistic child, male, female, into a neurotypical environment, they're gonna feel like they're different, you know. And we could preach all day that different is good, but by them thinking that they are with their peers, they're going to feel different. Okay, regardless, they're going to feel different because of their speech, uh, maybe stuttering or stammering, or maybe stimming. They're going to feel different in an environment like that. It's not an inclusive environment to where they can learn social skills together, kind of bounce off of one's energy. Okay? These kids are not here to just be thrown into an environment until the parents get off from work. And these parents feel like they don't have a choice because they have to go to work to pay the bills and put food on the table. So that leaves the parents stressed out. So that's my take on it, everybody. These kids, you just, I mean, they're telling you, and some of these people who have taken this data, they're telling you that these kids, you know, need to be in a place where the lighting is right, where just the whole ambiance is right for them, you know, and that being around their own peers that they can pick up language from each other. They can learn that way. The other way is for this kid to feel so alone until this child is not being verbal. A lot of the times, I've had teachers to tell me that they didn't know that the Sarahs could talk, and the Sarahs have been in their room for at least one or two. Um, I forgot what they called it. Semesters. That's it. Semesters. That these kids have been in a semester or two, and the teachers didn't know if they could talk. Just figured this child was autistic, and just didn't address them at all. So the kid was just sitting up in the class doing absolutely nothing, being bored. And that's exactly what they do. They're being bored. They're not being challenged. It just seems like every time I do a piece of this podcast, you know, it's unfortunate that nothing's being done. Nothing is being done. Okay, what do you think, DeSaris?
I think I agree with a lot of the information that was on this podcast.
Yeah, I don't know about a lot of it because they're still trying to make putting autistic kids a in a neurotypical environment that it's okay. And I disagree with that part, but I'm like you. I agree with, a lot of it, but until I can see something, this is just words. These are words, you know. So should the child be treated any differently because the child is not an upper class kid that the parent is not a senator or a mayor or someone like that? Should the child be taught any differently? Should it not have an inclusive environment? And it's already been named so many times how or what the autistic community has given the world, the music, Einstein, Beethoven, you know, uh, just so many inventors, so many music, just and at that time back then they weren't really diagnosed. But not nowadays when they look at it, they look at them, they say, hey, wait a minute, he has a lot of those traits, or he has a lot of these traits. This person was autistic. So we know how beautiful that is. Okay? We know the beauty of it. Why are we not focusing on that more? The painters, the musicians, the authors. Why are we not focusing on that? Okay.
We appreciate you guys' support. Subscribe to our
What time
channel.
is it?
Uh,
What time is it?
it is 7:36.
Okay. All right. Sarah, do you have anything you want to say about this? Because you have firsthand experience. So let me ask you about your speech. I know you liked your speech teacher, okay? But did you not only just enjoy, okay? And then with speech, they only give them like 30 minutes. So that was like 5 minutes going to them, 5 minutes going back to their class. So really, they only had 20 minutes with the teacher.
And yeah, I think that speech class was beneficial
But was it
for
short?
this.
And how did it benefit you? What did you learn?
I learned to it helped me with my stuttering, like taking breaths uh, uh, instead of forcing your words out. Um,
Okay. What else?
uh, each of the kids had different communication differences, so it helped other kids in other ways.
Okay. So they put y'all together.
Yes.
Okay. How long was that?
It was about 20 to 3 minutes.
So okay. So your kids are getting to the speech therapy. 5 minutes there, 5 minutes back to get to the next class before the bell rings. So you're only spending 20 minutes in a group together.
Yes.
I don't think that that's speech therapy. Okay, there is no way speech therapy. And so, see what I'm saying? They're trying to fit like little intervals into the public school system so that they can get the money for having these kids to go to their schools. All right? But these kids are not getting what they need. They're not getting what they need.
I agree about that.
You agree with your mom?
Yes.
Okay. I agree with me too, Sarah. I just want to see these kids just have the best that they can have, because right now it's not it. It's not it, Wow. And it's almost like this a waste, because it's a waste because these kids are not getting anything from it. They're not getting anything from it. Okay. All right, everyone. Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure that we got in from DeSareth, what he was saying, um, because this is very important because speech is an extension of social, uh, being social with each other, you know. But I believe that in no way is it possible for these kids to be not inclusive until they get to like college. Okay, I think that they need to stay in that type of environment until they get into college. Now, maybe You can have a group of kids. You know how they do the exchange student. So maybe you can do like a group of kids. Maybe you could do like a group of kids that would go to their school for a few months, uh, and mm, then the autistic kids, a group can go to a public school for a month. Maybe they can kind of like change out that way to see, the different functions. But until like 11th or 12th grade, I think that these kids should be inclusive, okay? Gain confidence around their own group. That's the key. All right, so thank you, everyone. Please like, subscribe, share. Lou, you were thinking about you. Frank, we're thinking about you too. Hope you guys are doing great out there. Um, Especially you, Lou. Okay, you gonna make me come to Madison, boy. Okay, so just be good, Lou. We love you. Remember, every day should be a celebration, not just one day. Okay, every day is a celebration. Stop feeding into this stress factor of these parents trying to afford something that they cannot do for their kids. How are you going to afford toys and then other kids are comparing with other kids the toys that they get? It's just a whole stress thing. That's all it is, and you feed off into that, and it depresses you more. That's all it does, because it's so much on your plate as it is. Then we have this. So it would be nice also with the inclusive environment that we have things that are geared specifically to that community, okay? Because, Sarah, I'm getting out of the Sarah's. The Sarah's is in his own little world right now. Okay, but yeah, parents would get with other parents. They would understand what everybody's going through, and just get them select things, okay? Because and that's another thing, the things that neurotypical kids like is not the things that would excite an autistic child, okay? I mean, it's a whole another playing ground for them, and I tested that because I can give to Sarah's some things that I thought that he liked, or he would tell me the things that he liked. He showed me what he liked, okay, and I get it for him, and then he'll do that for like 2 weeks, you know, and then he was bored with it. He just tossed it to the side, or once he got the hang of it, he tossed it to the side, or maybe it didn't do what he wanted it to do, and he threw it to the side. So I had to go totally out of the box, or maybe get all the way in the box. I don't know which one it was, but getting him specific things like instruments, you know, uh, guitars, pianos. If the first thing you need to get for your child is maybe like a keyboard, okay, something that they can control, and it gives them it. In other words, give them things that when they input something into it, or when they play this keyboard, it's gonna instantly or automatically give them what they want, which is that music piece, that sound, that note, something like that. The same thing for painting. Painting is beauty. Okay, so when they put a certain color there, or a certain mark somewhere, or painting something in specific, because a lot of kids can look at something, autistic kids can look at something and they automatically could paint it from memory. Okay? Most of these kids have photographic memory. All right? So something that they can put on the canvas and they get the total beauty out of it, that's something that they do, but as kids, give them a coloring book. I used to get down on the floor with Sarah's all the time. Or we used to just sit up in bed and just get we would get the biggest thing of colors that we could. Okay, that had all these different colors. All right, and you know, uh, he learns what his favorite colors are, and learning to color in within those sections and everything. So that makes him think a little bit more outside and a little bit more quicker that he wants to put something on a page, on canvas himself. Okay? So you gotta be creative with these kids. Or you're gonna just see your money go to waste. And therefore this kid is bored now and have nothing to play with. Okay? So and these kids they like to play, but they like a challenge. And they like to be educated, challenged, and add play should be fun to them all at the same time. Okay. So anyway, I talked enough. All right. So thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, share the series. Go ahead.
We appreciate your support. Like, share, and subscribe our channel. And thank you for watching our video today.
Thank you for watching our channel today, everyone. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, also I wanted to announce that we will be closed Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day. Although we don't celebrate those days, we celebrate every day. Energy must be high every day. So we don't celebrate those days, but we understand that, there are people out there that celebrate this. So we don't expect for you to come in. So no pressure, okay? The whole thing is to be careful and enjoy one another, okay? So that's what every day should be about. Just enjoying one another and being safe, okay? Because there are a lot of people that don't know uh, anything about high energy or anything like that. They just want to get drunk, and that's just a whole danger zone. Okay. Okay. So we love y'all, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.